Are they fighting with anger at one of their parents or both of their parents? And if they can resolve that original condition, as I call it, that core trauma, I think the relationship therapy, the marital therapy, will take off to a higher level.
I'm wondering why couples find it so hard to stop fighting. They get into such a rhythm of arguing, and it's so hard to break free. You know, sometimes even after one partner passes away, they still live in that regret. I know for you that's part of your work. And so I'm just, putting it out there, like, how do you get couples that are so entrenched in that to break free?
So, we all know that old scars from childhood cause relationship fighting. We all know this. And what's so diabolical is the fact that the process is happening unconsciously. We don't realize that when I'm hating your guts and I'm wringing your neck, I'm reacting to the monsoon from the past. And what's even more diabolical is the overt fight content, the topic du jour that got us started on the fight, like you left the toilet seat up again, you didn't take the garbage out again. That acts as a smokescreen that conceals the real issue, which is the old scar underneath. So would you believe the solution is stripping? And I'm not talking about getting naked. I'm talking about this technique I use called stripping away the overt fight content to get to the real meat of the matter beneath. And when couples do this, now they become allies rather than enemies, and they're working together to help each other identify and heal their old scars. Wow. And as they do this, they transform their relationship into an oasis of healing. And when we heal our old scars together, the fights fade.
Well, what I hear you doing is simplifying how couples can get down there and name the problem. And then once you name it, you do need to go down, you do need to strip, you do need to get it named, but then treat it with love, treat it with empathy, and move into the positive.
So people do fight because they want to get their needs met. They fight also to differentiate, because you want me to be like you, and so I want to be like me. But what we found that the most, durable reason why couples fight is to avoid the intimacy they complain about not having. Couples get to a point where they're just about to relax into intimacy, and then they explode or leave therapy.
Self-sabotage.
Or self-sabotage in some way, and that got so curious to us, as you were just about there and then you stopped therapy, or you shut down for 3 weeks, and I had to call you and say, are you dead or something? And so what they finally said was that it's more terrifying to have what we want and lose it than it is to live without it and still want it.
The analogy that I sort of have landed on is relationships are like a dance, right? So it's like you're ballroom dancing, and whatever that trigger is, and so you're in this sort of intimate connection. The dance is an intimate connection, and whatever that trigger is, it's like your partner has stepped on your toe in the dance, right? Whatever that is. So you've stepped on my toe, I'm in my defenses, now I'm probably gonna step on your toe, or I'm gonna do something else that's gonna make you feel bad, and then we're dancing close to a cliff. So when one person steps on the other, that person is in yellow alert, right? So they're in their defenses, that's yellow alert. When two of you are in your defenses, that's red alert. So when you're on yellow alert, the other party has to say, okay, I've got to hold the space now. It is now, that person is in their defenses, they're in fight or flight. It's my job to hold the space and let them take charge and say, okay, let's take a walk, or let's take, we'll talk about this tomorrow, or whatever it is. Because otherwise you fall off the cliff, and then you're just grasping for whatever you can do to survive. So when we're in yellow alert, our partner has to recognize it for us. The partner that is not, in their defenses has to recognize it for us, and then take a break. I mean, that's really so that your brain chemistry can go back to normal levels. That usually takes 20 to 30 minutes just to take a pause, and then you can go back to it, or you can say, let's talk about this tomorrow. And usually, almost every couple that I've worked with, or individual that I've worked with, has said, wow, it's magic. It's like we don't fight that much anymore, because once we get to that place, we stop, and then it's not important.
What has worked for me is to get couples to understand that they're enacting a wounded child within themselves problem that they never solved. And I often recommend to go into individual therapy and to understand, who is it are they really fighting with? Are they fighting with anger at one of their parents or both of their parents? And if they can resolve that original condition, as I call it, that core trauma, I think the relationship therapy, the marital therapy, will take off to a higher level.
So these are some great tips if you are stuck in that conflict in your marriage or committed partnership and you can't stop fighting. These are some good tips from some experts on how to decrease the conflict and improve your relationship today.